Hello and welcome back to Half Baked Baseball. We're your hosts. My name is Mo and this is my best bud Jay, and we're bringing you our 420 friendly baseball is definitely super fun experience. We missed you guys the last couple weeks, so we're going to jump right into today's episode talking about some things that we missed and a few crazy surprises over the last few series, starting with the weather. This was way more impactful than we definitely were expecting at the beginning of the season. It seems like the winter weather, especially in the Northeast, just refuses to relent. We had some rainy, cold weather, snow in the games in Detroit versus the Yankees. They also had some snow in Denver with the A's versus the Rockies, and the Pirates actually ended up giving free tickets for future games to any attendees that had a MLB account that braved the cold weather on their April 8th opening game. I think it was like in the mid 30s at first pitch, which
Nasty.
is crazy, and those people definitely deserve it. I think I saw a comment on one of the posts from somebody that was at the game that it wasn't even like a random nosebleed seat, but actually like lower level tickets that they gave everybody, which is pretty cool.
Dang, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Also, due to the weather, we had some crazy silly injuries too, and some people just overexcited in the first few weeks of baseball getting injured. Jay, do you want to talk about some of those player injuries?
Yeah, there was a lot of injuries that happened, but some notable ones were Jackson Merrill, hamstring, he's on 10-day IL. Wyatt Langford, oblique strain, 10-day IL, and CJ Abrams also on 10-day IL with the hip. We got an update on Colton Cowser. He fractured his thumb. Managers say like 6 to 8 weeks return time for him. And then Ivan Herrera, who is the catcher for the Cardinals with that crazy three home run game. He was also on 10-day IL with a knee injury. He should be back soon. Speaking of being back soon, we have some debuts coming soon. Spencer Strider will be back next week for the Braves. We got some news on Acuna. The estimated return time right now is May 5th, but he's supposed to have a checkup with doctors in Los Angeles early next week and is expected to be cleared for lateral movements and change of direction running. That came from a Game Atlanta reports. The Tigers are going to get Parker Meadows back. That team is already nasty, and he is another one of their power hitters. Expect good things from him. The Phillies starting pitcher Ranger Suarez, who's been playing in some minor league games to kind of rehab a little bit. He's going to be back next week. I'm sure they're excited for that. And the Yankees, Stroman placed on IL, which, to be honest with you, I'm not necessarily upset about. This guy is struggling to start out the season. That pitching room is desperate. Clark Schmidt should be returning soon, so that should help out a little bit. But I read somewhere that the Yankees have the worst starting ERA in the whole league. I think the ERA is like over 5. So they're really desperate, and I hope, all Yankees hope that they figure that out. And for all you Guardians fans out there, David Fry is coming back soon. He was on 60-day IL. And then Lane Thomas is day-to-day. He should be back soon. Nothing new there.
So, should we discuss some winners and losers for the last few series? Do a little leaderboard check. I know we've definitely had some teams that we knew were going to be good that have been good. Obviously, the Tigers and the Yankees, despite some issues that they've been having with pitching, they're still smacking the balls, as well as the NL West overall looking good. We got the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Giants are crushing it, and the Diamondbacks are right on their tails there. Unfortunately, the Rockies are having a tough go of things, but
the Rockies are the Rockies.
The Rockies are the Rockies.
That's what I put in the note.
So the NL West is going to be cutthroat, I think, throughout the season.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we have some people that are just kind of sucking it. We already talked a little bit about some people coming back for the Braves, and we hope that those two guys coming back here in the near future will help get them where we thought they were going to be at the start
Mm-hmm.
of the season.
I have no explanation. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's bad luck. Maybe it's, missing Spencer Strider. Maybe it's missing Acuna. I don't know. We'll just see. We'll have to see if they turn it around.
Mm. And then we obviously had very high hopes for the Mariners, and they started off rough. I do think that they've kind of gone on a little bit of a win streak recently.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they were swept by the Giants there, and we're just not seeing pitching coming out as well as we thought. I guess both of those teams, when you are struggling with their bullpen and not having starters that you can fully trust,
Yeah.
it's only downhill from there. The offense can only do so much at the end of the day. So hopefully we'll see some spark come back for both of those teams.
Some surprises that we weren't expecting with Miami, how they started out their season. They had a couple shutouts not go in their favor recently, but they're still in the mix at 7-7. The Rangers fighting in the AL West right now, 9-6. They're looking nice. Corey Seager is starting to find those pitches.
Yep.
And the Angels are right there with them at 9-5. We thought they'd be good having Mike Trout back, but not this good. They are mashing right now.
Yeah, the Angels have been super surprising. I think something we weren't necessarily surprised by is how much the White Sox are struggling. They ended up getting swept by the Guardians in their series last week. Game 1 wasn't really anything special. They ended up walking a run in the 9th inning, which is kind of sad. Game 2 was a little more exciting. John Kenzie Noel and Carlos Santana definitely coming in to their status as far as the season goes, hitting the important balls. They only won that game 2-3. Game 3 was super fun and interesting. Kyle Manzardo, who has been insanely fun to watch this whole season so far, him and Kwan both had really good games in Game 3. Stevie, we were actually talking a little bit of junk about Stevie leading up to this game.
He proved us wrong.
And he must have heard us. Yeah, he proved us wrong. He ended up getting 2 runs, 4 hits, 4 RBIs, and 5 at-bats on that game.
Nice.
And I think it was really kind of expected, but a fun series to watch, especially towards the end. And a lot of people had low expectations for the White Sox, but they managed to really beat up on the Red Sox this past week. The Red Sox have been kind of iffy. We talked a lot about Devers in our last episode and how he was kind of struggling to fill in that DH position, but they ended up sweeping the Cardinals and a lot of really strong games. Abreu and Christian Campbell have really stood out amongst the lineup there. Bregman, of course, super consistent. And Devers finally finding his groove. They ended up going up 2-1 after that sweep against the Blue Jays, but have just struggled surprisingly against the White Sox. They have essentially shut down Devers, Durant, and Bregman. And at the time of recording this, they're in the 5th inning and there's still no runs for either team in that game. So kind of interesting to see, what we probably would think is one of the worst teams in the league right now, actually putting a stop to the Red Sox is kind of interesting.
Yeah. All in all, though, it was really nice seeing Devers with a big old smile on his face after being super depressed. But yeah, I think the Red Sox are going to figure it out. Though it's a tough few years to be a White Sox fan. I don't think they're going to do anything special.
All right, enough sad talk, enough depressing baseball news. Let's talk about some players that we've been excited about for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about the Giants and the Angels. The A's have some secret sauce on their team, but some standout players that weren't necessarily on our watch list or on our radar, but are definitely going to be going on our watch list. The Giants, Wilmer Flores, tied with league lead for home runs with 6 home runs. This guy came out of nowhere. Jung-Hoo Lee, which there was a lot of um, a lot of news about him being good, but we're finally seeing that come to fruition. He has a 333 average and a 992 OPS. This dude's straight nasty. The Angels, obviously, they're you see what they're doing. They're tied with the Yankees for 27 home runs on the season. Mike Trout is Mike Trout. He has 6 home runs. Kyron Paris wasn't somebody I was looking at. He has 5 home runs. Logan O'Hop, 5 home or O'Hoppy. I don't know how to pronounce that. He has 5 home runs, and Taylor Ward has hit a couple over the last few days. He has 4 now. But the A's secret sauce I was talking about, I don't understand. Like I said, these guys weren't on our watch list, but it's fun. It's fun to see. Another league lead tie in home runs is Tyler Soderstrom with 6 home runs. Drafted in 2020, had a decent OPS in 23 and 24. But he's having a breakout start to this 2025 season with a 1.07 OPS. Absolutely nasty stuff.
Super, super fun to watch. I think there's always going to be surprises, right? There's always going to be players that you never heard of or that just had okay years beforehand, and they've just been busting their butts in the off season and wanting to stand out on their team, and we get to witness that day by day, which is so fun. So we kind of left you guys on a little bit of a cliffhanger in our last episode when we said that Jay and I were going to be facing each other in our fantasy league. And it was very close. Unfortunately, Jay took the dub, so he is now 2-0.
2-0, baby.
Yes, it was fun. We had a lot of close days. I think our point differential was only like 8 or 10, so it wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah, no, I just looked it up. It was 241 to 242 in favor of me on the last day. I picked up Jordan Hicks, who got me 8 points, who solidified the dub, which thankfully I dropped him before he faced the Yankees. He got absolutely crapped on. But yeah, the W felt good.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's been interesting with all these early injuries. I ended up losing Blake Snell and Cronenworth to the IL this past week. Mm-hmm. So I ended up picking up Brady Singer to have another pitcher, and he's done pretty decently. I think average, probably. And, of course, Matt Shaw. Our dog, Matt Shaw. I went ahead and picked him up. He's added a little bit of diversity where I needed some holes filled. So far, he's done pretty well for me.
Mm-hmm. I had Jackson Merrill on IL, but I did make a lot of moves this week. I don't know if it ultimately helped me beat you, but I did pick up Kyron Paris and Jung-Hoo Lee. We talked about him earlier. He's absolutely nasty, but I did make a trade for Ozzie Albies. I had a little bit of a dilemma at second base. I wasn't feeling too confident in my Jordan Westburg pick. Ended up picking up some guy named David Moore on the Mariners. Didn't really do anything for me, so I traded for him. And then Shane Baz was sitting on the waiver wire, so I squeezed him in the lineup. We'll figure it out. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, this has been fun. We have low stakes obviously in this league, but I think it's making all of the attention to detail that we put into watching baseball. It's giving that extra little flair of excitement to our weeks, which is cool.
Perfect.
Now on to our favorite segment is where we get to share our favorite fun, silly news of the week for baseball. And I have one quick one, and that is that the AL is testing a QR code on baseballs. So the ones that leave the park, get into the stands, however they do, whether it's like a foul or home run or, one of the ball boys or somebody tosses one into the stands, there's now going to be a QR code on there where you can get special perks, discounts on food, tickets, parking, and other things. So I think that's going to be pretty fun.
Not the parking discounts. Hey, that's a W, I guess.
Pretty fun, pretty silly, exciting. I think it'll be interesting to see how that tracks over the season. Also, if you are on the internet at all, you probably have seen the um, action figure Barbie doll trend that's going on right now. Super fun and silly. The MLB put one out on some players, and I think it's hilarious how they did it. They got Mookie with the gold chain and the bowling balls and pins.
What is going on with the doll's head?
they
What are they
did.
doing? What
They
the heck?
definitely did some guys dirty. They called them out. The Dior, um, just super goofy. You can tell that somebody had a lot of fun making these. The
I've been
maple
seeing this,
syrup.
not the cheese legs. Oh my god. I actually didn't look through this before, so this is pretty funny. I've seen this trend with a lot of things, but seeing our baseball players in this is pretty cool. I
Yeah,
love dongs. Nice.
they called him your dong.
Dong Alvarez.
Alvarez.
Nice.
You have all the trophies, the orange juice. Super super funny. I love seeing this. I love seeing, I think, our generation, our age group, finally infiltrating social media and the
Mm-hmm.
admins of these accounts to kind of bring all these trends around for everybody. It's super fun to see. So
I want this Yordong action figure. He is jacked with the cowboy hat
somebody
too. That's so
get on
dope.
making these in real life. Let's go. Yep.
That's super dope. My funny, silly news, it came yesterday, actually. Miguel Rojas came in late in the game against the Cubs. They were up 11-0. I've seen lots of teams do this before, but I mean, at that point, they're kind of just like resting their starters, right?
Yeah.
But Miguel not only came in and just pinch pitch, but he came in and was impersonating the other Dodgers pitchers' wind-ups. It was actually hilarious. I didn't know what was going on at first. I thought he was just being goofy.
Yeah.
But
he was.
afterwards they were explaining that he was actually, trying to copy the other teammates, which is cool. Clayton Kershaw's windup was there. Roki Sasaki's freaking battle stance before he throws the ball is pretty cool. And then I love this one where he imitates Yamamoto's. He just like he does like a T-pose before he throws the ball. That ended up being 16-0. They still had fun with it.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot, how much fun the Dodgers are having. And it's very easy. I think this was their first loss so far, home game loss of the season.
Yeah.
And I think it goes to show, even though they're down 11-0, taking their first loss at home, they still find ways to have fun and keep the spirits high, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for morale, good for the mental, and they're giving a good example. So they have another matchup tonight. Is that right?
Yep.
So
7
we'll
o'clock.
be looking forward to seeing how that game goes and some other exciting matchups coming up in the near future. That's going to be it for today's episode. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us and catching up on the last couple weeks of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
We look forward to our next episode, sharing more fun, exciting baseball news with you. If there's something you'd like to maybe see us talk about or cover, definitely let us know in the comment section below. Or if you just like being here and hanging out with us, maybe give us a like or hit that subscribe button if you have not already. It definitely helps us out a ton. And we will see ya next time. Peace.
Bye.
Oh, wait, not yet. My bad. We gotta do fantasy update first. Okay.
Fantasy update.
Fantasy
update.
Fantasy update.
Do
Update.
a face. Fade out.